we had the great blessing some years ago. There was a man who Swami said was a saint. His name was Richard Wurmbrand. He lived in Romania, and he was a Christian minister, and he was imprisoned when the communists took over, and he was a very popular and charismatic figure. So they imprisoned him for, I'm not sure how many years, but it was 10 years at least, in solitary confinement in a dark dungeon. And also, we heard him speak. He was speaking at a local church. He was finally released out of public outcry, and he and his wife, who also had been in prison separately, they just traveled all over the world talking about Christ and the love of Christ. He was one of the most radiant human beings I have ever seen. He'd been tortured. He didn't have any teeth. He had just silver teeth. His back had been broken many times. He was a little bit hunched over. But he was filled with light. And he said, you know, he said, even in that darkness, in that silence, he said, there is the most beautiful light, there is the most beautiful sound. He was filled with Om and with God's light. And he said, my wife also experienced that. She was sitting in the back of the room. He said, she's the beautiful woman in the back. And there was this little old lady sitting there, but he knew who she was immediately. She was just radiant. And even whatever they did to him, all he felt was love and compassion. And when he was released, he just talked about his love for Christ and traveled all over the world. He subsequently passed away. But his life had more impact on the world than all the military leaders with all their might. They will be, forgotten. And they'll find their way back to God's light in their good time. But what we do to remember the divine in each other and to release any shreds of negativity or judgment, this is the most powerful force in the world. And to the extent we do it with concentration and focus and dedication, it becomes even more powerful. Let us do our part in changing ourselves. And in God's good time, His love and His light will be the most powerful force we see everywhere. God bless you.